All right, we are live. Welcome, guys, everybody, to the Three Loose Lug Nuts, episode 4. Uh, we're back again, us three nuts, discussing what happened over the weekend and the upcoming events in the racing world. This is Josh and Octane, and I'm Danny from Danny and Grays. I hope everybody's doing good out there. Right now, I'm seeing Victor Santiago a little bit ago. He said hey to us. I don't know if he's here or not, but we'll give some time for people to come in. Let's get the announcements out of the way again. Here we go. Now, I do got to
Oh,
let
we
it.
gotta wait for some more people to come in here.
We got 5 here. I mean, uh, I don't know who they are. There's Victor. He says he's still here. Um, check this out, guys. This came in the mail today. I'm not doing a video on it, but finally got the petty pop. I've been wanting that one for quite some time, and you guys already know where that's going. So
I
I
was going to
think
say how long before it's in a priority box at a Durandleman.
probably in the next two or 3 days. I would say by the end of the week. But I think I'm going to take it out of the box and kind of do it flat and do the old school thing. Sign here. Sign. You remember that, Josh? I think that'll work. So, um, Roger Riggs, I'm here. He's here on time. It's a miracle. Um, But really quick, let's get some announcements going. We got 4 people. I don't want to kill too much time with it. You guys already know what it is, anyways. Wednesday, we will do our break. However, it will not be the Don Russ. I think everybody already knows that. That actually got pushed again. Now it's April 15th, 2022. By the time we get to April, it'll probably be May. So, who cares at this point? But we'll have it whenever it comes out. So, but we'll be doing the 5 blaster box break. That'll be what is it, Wednesday night? Yeah, Wednesday night, and we'll start that around the usual time. I think I might go live like 15 minutes before or something like that. We'll do the random and then start it at 7. So it should be still a fun night. And then this Saturday we'll have the auction. We're calling it an auction, but it's more of a sale because I'm literally pricing everything to move, and I don't want to. I think when we do the auction, it just kills too much time, and people will sit there and they won't say, we don't want that item, or just I don't know. It just takes too much time, and I can just put a price on it and move forward. So we'll do that this Saturday. That starts at 6:30, and we'll run that to 10:30. So that'll be fun. And you guys actually took to the 2 videos I put up over the weekend. I kind of done that so it would kill off some of the time that we would be, using. And I'll still go through those cards again. But you guys really seem to take to that, so I'll keep that in my membrane in the back for the next time. Why is Don Rush 22 delayed? Probably because of everything that's going on. Plus, maybe some of the drivers haven't signed some of the cards. I don't know the case. Danny looking to wheel and deal. You can't do much more wheeling and dealing than I already am because literally we're having cards for like 50 cents, $1. I mean, the highest price thing I think I'm running that night is a hero card that I'm wanting $20 for. That comes right off the top of my head. I mean, Victor Santiago's wanting a chase piece, but I got a chase piece Larson, but I'm not taking less than $40 for it because I know the value of that thing. So it doesn't bother me to not get rid of it. What's up, NFL boy Brandon? Good to see you. But I think that's all the announcements I got. So do you guys have any announcements? Probably not. I'm always taking that lead. Other than Josh has got one, but I don't know if he wants to share it here on YouTube. It's bad. It's not
Oh
that
yeah,
bad.
yeah. I got the vid.
Yeah, he's got the dreaded virus, so it's terrible. Uh, what was your symptoms? You said just a scratchy throat, basically.
I just feel like I have a cold.
Yeah,
Basically, yeah.
sucks. But we hope he gets better soon. Um, Off subject too. Before we get going in tonight, I do want to send my thoughts and condolences. I hope this thing turns around, but it's obviously not looking good. And to me, it's really special because it was one of my childhood wrestlers growing up. If you guys aren't familiar with Scott Hall, he is actually in critical condition. They took him; he was on life support, and then they took him off. Do you remember him, Josh?
Yeah,
Razor Ramon?
I think I just saw something. passed.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like a
I,
couple hours ago, I think.
I don't know. That's terrible, though. Really
I don't
quick, I
know.
know
It could have been just something stupid on the internet. I don't know, but
It's hard to
I
trust so many of those sites out there.
yeah.
it is, but we don't normally talk wrestling here on the channel. But that was one of my childhood idols growing up. I always liked, the bad guy, and I can remember. This is a really quick story. I had one VHS wrestling tape when I was younger, like my son's age. And it was older. Like, I mean, I was like 5 and it was like 1999. But I would always watch 1993 SummerSlam. And I think he fought Deviosity, if I'm thinking right, because I used to could remember the whole tape, but I would literally rewatch it. I know that's when Yokozuna and Lex Luger fought, and I think he slammed Yokozuna. You remember that, Octane?
Yeah. I don't remember the pay-per-view exactly, but I was kind of in and out watching at that time.
Man, I wore that tape completely out. I think eventually got thrown away, but
Growing up, our neighbor had a black box, so we always watched pay-per-views on that.
Oh boy, Roger Riggs is preaching to you, Josh. Need some more videos, Josh. I always hope you get well soon. Oh man, Roger, really quick. This is off subject too. I think Tim Mosey's going to be making a video here soon. He wants you to watch that scrapbook. He doesn't know if you ever seen it originally. He was going to bring it down to Martinsville, and I told him last night, don't bring that thing out in the weather. That thing's too delicate to be bringing out. It's an old scrapbook from where he had gotten it at an auction sale or something. It had all those autographs. I don't know if you guys remember that video, but it's
Yeah, I
pretty
remember
cool.
that video.
It was really cool. So he wants Roger to watch that whenever he puts it up. So keep a lookout for that. And then Metal Mike says, "Oh wow, terrible news. Those guys run and play hard." Yeah, you got to think all the beatings they took. So, and then the steroids. We all know that they were involved in that back in their days. So that doesn't help matters none. But yeah, thoughts and prayers for Scott. So another one too. The DGR hauler driver. Guys, man, I felt so bad after the fact. Me, Roger, and Kevin Smith, we were down last week. We tried to go to the junior podcast. He didn't have a guest. He didn't show. He was doing. So we kind of went around and we went to DGR. There's a guy down there. We don't personally know him, know him, but he knows us when he sees him. He remembers Josh and everything. And we kind of went in the main doors and we asked one of the guys, where was David? And he's like, he's busy right now and all this. And then, we was like, well, I'll get us some hero cards. I'll go down here. And I knocked on the door and then that guy came
Yeah,
out.
he's upstairs.
So I feel really bad after the fact that we were down there bugging those guys, but we didn't know any better. But, thoughts to all those crew members. They're like a little knit community, and I hate seeing that terrible crash. That was awful. But there was some light at the end of the tunnel when Taylor Gray brought it home. That was really, really, that was awesome. That's all I can say. I mean, I was just speechless. So glad that they brought home that win.
Haley Deegan's replacement at DGR and the one truck won.
Yeah, that's pretty good. Pretty good.
I mean, regardless where she goes next, he's probably gonna take that spot.
Oh, definitely for sure. I mean,
They might as well be Gray Brothers Racing at that point. Just rename it.
What's going on here? What was that? That was weird.
Oh no, you're frozen.
Am I still froze?
Somewhat.
It's coming back a little bit.
I don't
choppy.
know. I think our Wi-Fi went out for a second. I don't know. And Bean Bulb Card Blog says, I've been listening to these a day or two after the stream, really enjoying it. Well, appreciate it, man. That's what we're doing it for. A lot of you guys seem to enjoy this. And we have fun on here. We're no professional. But our plan is by the end of the season, we want to have some NASCAR personality. I mean, I think I can get it done. I keep saying that every week. I got to talk to Tyler. That's my first step. I'd love to have him on. I mean, that would be awesome.
Or
But
see if you could talk Spencer Boyd into me coming on.
yeah, and let me give everybody an update. I actually talked to Spencer personally. We were down there, and I asked Tyler about him. He's like, he's right out there. So I went over to the fence and talked to him for a minute. He was in the sling, and he told me that he was good to go for Saturday. So he's like, I'll be in there in a week and a half, which was obviously last week. He said he's in, some mild pain, which obviously is to be expected. It was dislocated. So, but other than that, he was in good spirits, and he was, he's like, I can't miss racing. I couldn't. He's like, I was devastated when it happened. I was so scared that I was going to be missing, parts of the season. But so hopefully he'll go out there and do pretty good this coming Saturday. I'll just keep my opinion to myself about the Gray brothers. He must not like them. It's not everybody's cup of tea. I wish you had Larson on. What do you mean by that, Victor?
I think we all wish we had Larson on this show.
Yeah, that would be sick. I just don't, with all the stardom anymore, I don't see that happening. Not happening. I did get the hat though, guys. I bought the hat. Fanatics had a 25% off, and I walked out the door with it for $30. Beats close to 50. I ain't paying $50 for that hat. I just ain't. I think it's a remake anyways. It's not the original one from what I was looking at. But we could talk off subject all night, but we need to get into the topic at hand. ARCA series, that race was pretty good. I had to rewatch it. Did either of you guys watch that live?
No, I only watched the highlights.
I didn't get to see any of it.
Yeah, I rewatched it. Somebody had actually black marketed it and put it on eBay. Listen to me, YouTube, and it may have got taken down. It was like a second feed, but it was good audio and everything. But overall, like I said, it was great to see Taylor Gray bring that win home. You could tell the emotions were high for sure. David Gillen was crying in victory lane. So, I thought that was really good overall. Josh Berry didn't do too bad. Where did he wind up finishing? I think he was top 10, right?
Sixth or seventh, I think.
I was surprised to see him in the lineup.
That was the first 40-car field in 5 years or something for ARCA.
Yeah.
Well, it was a combination ARCA and ARCA West race, correct?
Yeah, I thought so. It was. But that was a big field. I wish they could do that every week. It would be good. Even though, on the first 2 or 3 laps, half the field wrecked, went out or whatever. But still, it's good to see a big turnout. So moving forward, there really wasn't much to talk about that race. I mean, Taylor Gray won, so congrats to them. The Xfinity Series, pretty good race as well. I enjoyed that a lot. Is there anything you guys want to touch on first off?
Nothing crazy. I mean, Noah winning's cool, but
yeah.
I think all our picks were pretty solid. They all finished.
Yeah, I look back.
Yeah, I was gonna say I can't remember who I picked for that race.
We literally
you
were
picked
6th,
Dinger
7th, and 8th. We were
yeah.
6th, 7th, and 8th.
Yeah.
Ty Gibbs was 6th, Allmendinger 7th, and Hemrick 8th. We look like professionals out here, boys. We haven't picked nothing stupid yet. So, yeah, that was pretty good. I just looked at it 6th, 7th, and 8th. Wow.
We'll have to wait till next super speedway. Because we didn't pick for Daytona.
Right, we didn't. Ty Gibbs spun out, which was my pick, but then he came back, like I said, to finish 6th. I was like, oh well, there goes my hopes, and then he actually was, coming back there.
I saw him spin
Riley
out. I was laughing.
Yeah, I know. Riley Herbst, how about that hard crash he had?
Yeah,
that was pretty rough.
Brakes went out.
Yeah, his brakes went out.
Brake failure, yeah.
Rogers over here saying I picked Grayson to win.
Well, speaking of the start of the race, what do you guys think of Ty Gibbs and Ryan Sieg qualifying side by side after their little fiasco the week before?
Yeah.
Yeah, they were next to each other a lot too, and every time they would say something about it, but
Yeah, and I mean, but NASCAR said that they supposedly talked things out and they
Yeah.
got caught into the hauler and all that shenanigans, and it was all worked out.
I mean, Ryan Sieg can't afford to screw around too much with a big team like that.
No.
Yeah, he would just fall in the deep end, and he would be like, "Oh, we got to close up shop because I just wrecked all my cars out, and they still producing them."
No, or we got to go process more scrap metal in the backyard over there.
Right. Oh man. But let's see. Trevor Bain actually had another strong showing, man. I think he's gonna get up there. I'd love to see him win. That's for sure. He finished fourth though. He took stage one, and then of course Gregson took stage two, and then won the whole shenanigans. Brandon Jones with a good strong finish,
Yeah.
second. It's great to see him. He's
Josh
gotten a lot better.
Josh Berry, I thought, did pretty good too.
Yeah, third, not bad. And then John Hunter was top five. They came out with Brandon Jones. What was it, a couple years ago, talking about the top worst driver ever? And
Yes.
here they
Who did that? Was it Black Flags Matters? I think it was
Was it
BFM.
was it the top bust video and Brandon was
Yeah.
like in the top 4, I think.
Yeah, I think it was number 2 or something.
he's
I
really
th-
been
and at that
strong.
and at that time, I think when that video was produced, he hadn't won yet after being with Childress and Gibbs. So it was
Yeah,
almost
after.
it was almost like a Daniel Hemrick situation where you're with
Yeah.
all these top teams that you haven't produced yet.
Yeah, after that video, I think he started doing really good.
Instead of putting the gray cloud over him, it kind of boosted his momentum, and he just took off from there. He says Bain's crew kept messing up in the pits. Yeah, they did. That's Roger. He said that.
Yeah, and his last race they did too. They kept messing
Yeah.
up.
They just got to get everything together, and the pit crew is a main thing in winning. I mean, you can't just go out there and run solid. You got to have those good pit stops to bring everything out. But I think he gets a win. I'm hoping he does. I think that would really his momentum's already up there, and his confidence just getting that win would be epic. I wonder if he got a win if they would give him more races. They added him in this weekend. He's going to be running Atlanta. So
I think it just depends on sponsors.
Right.
We was talking about the crew also, and since this 18 car is kind of their all-star car where different people are going to be in and out, if they're using the Cup Series crew, and if the Cup Series crew is used to those, getting used to those new air wrenches and the one lug, and now they got the 5 lugs still on the Xfinity cars, how much of a transition that might be from crew to crew, and they're just, kind of lagging there because they're practicing more for one than the other.
And also to double back on what you were saying, Octane, is they might not mesh very well. They could be different guys from different Cup teams.
Right, absolutely.
So it could be a guy from Hamlin, a guy from Busch, a guy from
Truex.
Bell, Truex. Yeah.
Yeah, that does make a lot of sense as for what both of you said there, because even back to what Octane said, you're doing 5 versus 1. That's 2 different guns you're using. You're doing that. You're doing just one.
2 different
whole scenarios.
So the repetition is just completely different.
Yeah, for sure.
Because you got to think in the off season, they didn't touch 5 lugs at all. They were literally practicing on one.
Yeah. I don't even. How do you say that?
Kamikaze.
Oh yeah. I don't know. I don't even remember that person. Jeez.
No,
or that team.
No. That's the YouTube channel that made a video. I don't think that's not the one I don't think that's the one I watched.
That's
though.
not the one I watched either. I don't think so. It seemed like it was Black Flags Matter.
I think it was. He does all those kind of.
Wait a minute, or was it Slap Shoes? No, not
Slap. No.
Slap Shoes does more historical.
Yeah.
He's got a good one out on the why I think it was Kawicki messed up all sponsors or something for the 90s or whatever, like driver owner teams, whatever, you know. I think that's his newest video. It came out. I watched it last night. It's pretty good. He was talking like how Kawicki won, you know, as a driver owner, and then it made people therefore after like Bodine, I think it was Bill Elliott, Waltrip, and those guys going after the fact, they couldn't do as good as he done competitively as a driver owner. You guys should definitely go watch it. It's pretty good. Which all his videos are pretty good. He was really awesome. Wasn't you with us? We seen him at Martinsville, Josh.
Mm-hmm.
That was a really nice guy. Really
Yeah.
nice guy. Pretty cool. So what'd you guys think about I mean, he's been in the booth. Suarez, my son was loving it. He was like, I love that guy. I love that guy. It was a different flavor, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
But the issue is, I don't know. I don't even know if I should say anything. I don't know. It's just when he starts talking fast is when it's
hard to understand.
Yeah.
I mean, I have Hispanic neighbors. That guy doesn't speak English. It's hard for me to talk to him sometimes, but I thought he brought a different flavor. And then when he started rattling out in Spanish the little cameo thing or whatever for
that lineup, the lineup card for the following week.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah,
I thought that was Logano was shocked. He was like, "What?" and they kept backpedaling to the amigos. That's all they would talk about. Hey, amigo, you know, friend or whatever. It's pretty cool. But overall, I thought it was decent. You know, him being in the booth. He had done it. They done it last year, I think, right? Him and Logano.
Probably.
Logano.
Yeah. I
forget, but he done pretty good. I know one thing off subject. We're touching on to the Cup Series here in a little bit. I'm happy to see my boy back in the booth next week at Atlanta. I know you can give Tuka a salute, Josh. You're like, whatever. But Gordon's coming back, so I was happy about that. I was watching the race, and he said it, and I looked over and just stared at my wife, and she's like, whatever. So she said, I was like, I'm happy. So, you know. Really quick, though, I did have something here I want to talk about. It was announced earlier today that Chastain's going to be in a truck at Atlanta. So that should be interesting. Yeah, he's getting a truck ride with a niece. So probably the 45.
Yeah. Bit of a homecoming for him. Yeah, sorry about that. I said that's a bit of a homecoming for him.
Yeah, for sure. So watch out for him. You know, I know our picks are coming up here in a little bit, but I really don't know where I want to go. I mean, I chose Ben Rhodes. I'll have to stick with that in the trucks because it's not right for me to go back and change my mind. I mean, we'll get to that in a little bit, but I don't really know where I want to go with things with a new track surface and everything. I don't know. It's going to be tough. But I did have that I want to talk about. And then they also said that all 3 national series will be at their restricted Daytona/Dega horsepower levels, and the Cup will also have its Daytona Aero package with the big spoiler. Xfinity and trucks will have their immediate track Aero package. So kind of basically it's just a super speedway package for both, you know, all series. So should be interesting to see how that does play out at Atlanta next week. There's a lot of background noise because I think it's stepping outside or windy or something there, Raj. Oh man. And I like what Metal Mike says. He says Octane surfing, and he's got the little surf dude going out. So I don't know what he was doing. Oh man. But we didn't even touch bases. We know the truck points didn't change hands, but the Xfinity, it looks like Noah Gragson's got 203 points. Ty Gibbs with second there at 164. Allgaier at 161. Allmendinger 160. Josh Berry with 150. The 11. Who's in the 11? I'm drawing a blank.
Hemrick.
Yeah, it's Hemrick. Yeah. I'm just seeing numbers here. I'm not seeing names. 135. Brandon Jones at 121, Ryan Sieg at 98, Sam Mayer with 97, and rounding out the top 10 is Riley Herbst at 95. So that's the top 10. I don't really remember where everybody was, but the cutoff positions, you got Creed. Who's in the 10? That's
Castle.
right?
Landed Castle.
And then the 27, who is that? See, I'm not seeing a name.
That's Jeb Burton.
Burton, and then the 23. Jeez, I'm terrible.
Anthony Alfredo.
Yeah. You're better at that one than me because I gotta redo all my numbers because they switched so much. So that's after week 3 on those guys. All right, so the Cup Series, we're only at 7:30. We got to kill some time, guys. I don't know.
Well, we only have 2 races to review this week instead of 3.
There's not much to talk about tonight.
Hey, if it doesn't go an hour, it doesn't go an hour.
It doesn't go an hour, exactly. The Cup Series race was crazy. And I just want to go ahead and I'll admit, congratulations to Josh. He picked it left wing. If we were betting him last week, I'd have lost all my money. I mean, I would have never guessed in a million years that Chase Briscoe was going to win that race. I mean, did you, Octane, going into that?
Well, Briscoe's been having a really, really competitive year. He was third at Daytona. I can't remember if he had a top 10 in one of the other 2 races. But, I didn't put it past Briscoe having a top 5 or top 10 run. Win was a little bit of outside shot, but he really did show up Sunday.
I think in Vegas, he led some laps. And then I think he got caught up in something later in the race. I just kind of liked what I saw while he was out front in Vegas. And I just had like a gut feeling. I don't know. I almost picked Harvick, which honestly wouldn't have been a bad pick. He looked pretty strong yesterday too.
18 straight top 10s at Phoenix.
Yep. So
he's got something to write home about, at least with that.
So I don't know. I just had a feeling it was going to be a Haas car and Briscoe. I don't know. I like trying to pick the not obvious.
Well, Josh, your hat reminds me of what they were talking about with those 18 straight top 10s. Obviously, Richard Petty being one of them. I see the numbers 4 and 3 on your hat. Well, those were the other 2 drivers, Harvick and Earnhardt, that had 18 straight top 10s at one track.
That's kind of weird. Number 3, number 4, and 43.
Yes.
Right? It's all mashed together. There goes that numbers game again. Man, that stuff is crazy, though. Really thinking about it and everything you've ever talked about with numbers, Octane, and then there's that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, God, it just weirds me out sometimes, that stuff. But yeah, it was crazy. Josh over here calling me. I knew that I was either getting a text. I thought we would have it in our group text, him bragging, or
I didn't want to do what you did. Oh, my guy won in the group text.
Basically did, because he's over here FaceTiming me instantly. He's like, and I'm like, no, I'm playing his game. And then
Octane didn't deserve it.
I knew one of you picked Briscoe. I just couldn't remember which one of you guys picked Briscoe.
Yeah, my pick, let's review it. My pick was Logano, which finished 8th. Yours was Blaney, which was 4th. And then, of course, Briscoe won the race. So, again, we didn't look bad because each of our guys led a lap in that race. And they looked strong at one point. Blaney opened up the first stage. He was strong. I mean, he didn't win it. Byron won, but man, he was really doing really well.
Blaney had that pit penalty, that speeding on pit road with Hamlin, and you figure Hamlin, if there's somebody going to get a pit penalty, it's going to be Hamlin, or a speeding penalty, it's going to be Hamlin.
Definitely,
and the funny thing is, he wasn't leading that train either.
Yeah.
Nope.
Because Hamlin said I was following the 12, and
Yep.
And then they said, don't follow anybody, just go by your tack.
Yeah.
Right. But yeah, that was crazy. But then he did come back and he actually won the second stage. So Blaney had something to prove. Briscoe, he just come out like a freaking rocket there at the end, and nobody was touching him. I mean, Chastain, he had a chance. Reddick had the chance at him, and I thought him and Chastain was the most compatible there, but Briscoe just fired off, and he could run the top side more than anybody else.
Octane, you're a big numbers guy and a historian. I would say historian of the sport for the most part, or you just are freakishly remember everything.
A little bit of both, yeah.
How do you know the record for the most first time winners in a season?
2001 had 5. That would probably be the modern era record. I don't know going back pre-1972 because that you'd really have to do some digging there because you have those seasons that had 50 and 60 races, and of course a lot of those races are going to be West Coast races that the East Coast guys didn't go to. But I believe 2001 you had, who was it? Michael Waltrip, Elliott Sadler, Kevin Harvick, Robbie Gordon, and I'm missing the fifth guy off the top of my head.
Wow.
No, I was thinking maybe Kurt Busch, but was it maybe
he won in Bristol in
2002. Yeah, 2002. I think we might come close to that this year.
Oh, easily.
Yeah.
Because two first-time winners in the first 4 races. Of course, last year you had back-to-back in the first 2 races with McDowell and Bell. But, you got a lot of guys up there that will. Reddick's going to get one. Chastain should get one.
Yep.
I could see Suarez get one.
I think Trackhouse. I think they'll each get one. I have a pretty good feeling about that, especially Bristol Dirt. Suarez last year was almost won the thing.
Yeah. Well, we're kind of in that transition where there's obviously more newcomers than there are the older veterans right now. And
and it's just going to keep continuing.
Exactly.
Because you have Truex come, he's going to be leaving the sport soon. I would say McDowell,
Hamlin.
Kyle Busch. I mean, maybe
Kurt.
Kyle Busch. It just all depends on what they, because Hamlin, is still going to be involved in racing, obviously, as an owner. I mean, I could see Kyle Busch maybe doubling down or moving up to another series also with ownership. There's a lot of opportunities, but I think we're still going to, I would say over the next 4 or 5 years, I would say that the whole field's going to look different.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yep. I don't want to leave him out. Metal Mike's giving us some facts over. He says Briscoe fact: he won 6 of 20 ARCAs in 2016 en route to the championship, and then he said he won the first truck race in 2017. Yep, I think that was that one. No, that was 18. I was thinking about that one. 200th winner. Yeah, I was going to touch bases on that. One of the 38 drivers to win in all 3 divisions. And then he said 40 Cup start only had one other top 5. Talk about a dark horse. We got something going on around here, which is unusual. You might hear the
I hear a siren.
Yeah, that's not likely around here.
It's not the Dawsonville pool hall.
Right. And there goes my son opening the door. He's fascinated with that stuff. But yeah, that's some good facts there, Metal Mike. I appreciate you doing it. And let's all say hi to Jamie Williams, please. He's lit it up like 5 times.
Hi,
Jamie.
All right, so we got that taken care of. But yeah, that was where were we? I lost my train of thought. What were we on? Briscoe winning, and then we talked. I'm terrible.
First time winners.
Yeah, first time winners. Yeah. I was reading something too. I got notes. Boris said it's coming back to run. Do you guys know what he's running? Is he going to run Xfinity or Cup? I think it's going to be at Coda.
It was Cup. MBM.
Yeah. See, I didn't really read the full thing. I just heard them talking about it. That'll be cool.
Yeah.
I always like.
And you said Boris said.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Okay, because I think he might have mentioned that on the Dale Jr. download. I listened to that episode, and he talked about a lot of.
I don't know if he did or not, because he may have, but I don't recall it.
Yeah, I don't recall it. I just heard the announcement the other day. I wasn't.
The reason
maybe
why
they teased it.
I don't think he did, because that maybe they were in talks of that deal, but he was not, was obligated to tell the public about it yet,
Right.
so to speak, because that was a few weeks back. I know he obviously didn't mention that to us standing down there when we saw him, but he was in good spirits, so maybe that's a plus as to why he was in such good spirits. Who knows? But let's see what else I had here. Eric Jones again with the bad luck tire down situation. What the heck? When I seen the camera pan off and it was him, I was like, you got to be kidding me. He can't catch a break. I mean, he's been running so well. But he's
Well, you had Eric Jones, Chase Elliott, and Christopher Bell all spin coming off of turn 2, unaided, it appeared like, and it seems like those guys had trouble at California and a little bit at Vegas as well. I know Bell had a spin at Vegas.
Weren't they talking about, though, the shifter, when they would shift down and get back into it, when they would hit it, that it would spin and it would make the car go out of control? Because Joey had that issue there, but he never lost control. And I think several others did.
I think if they downshifted too aggressively, it broke them loose really bad.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
But they were able to keep it off the inside wall. And I think only one of them had an issue with the tires.
Yeah, Jones, I think. Jones or Bell, I can't remember.
They kept talking about how when they would slide, though, you can't slide that car much and the tire's going to bust. It usually just used to flat spot them. And, I think Truex was the only one that got help to the by the wrecker crew.
He probably had broken suspension too.
Because I think he blew a right front tire is what he thought he had happened.
He cut a right front down. So it's tough to see him. Man, it's surprising to see some of these guys you used to not see have the issues that are having issues going into this year. It's insane. And finally, Kyle Busch comes back. Didn't he have a decent run yesterday? Where did he wind up at? I thought he had a decent run.
Off
the top of my head, I'm thinking he was about 12th or so.
It's definitely better than what he had been.
Those Toyotas were horrible. Hey, he finished 7th.
See, got a top 10.
Which I'm surprised because, man, Toyota wasn't running in the top. The best runner was like 11th almost the whole race.
I was going to say Kurt Busch had the highest running Toyota for most of the race, and that was about a 12th or 13th place most of the day.
Yeah, and he finished 5th.
What's up, Outlaw?
I'm surprised. I don't even remember seeing Kurt Busch finish 5th.
Me either. When I wrote it down a little bit earlier, I was like, holy crap, he did finish 5th.
Well, I think those last 2 restarts really jumbled the entire running order because you had that long green flag, then you had the caution with like 27 to go, and then everybody came in and got new tires. Then that restart, everybody just dove to the bottom, and it just kind of shuffled the field. I think Harvick was the one that lost a lot of ground on that one restart when he kind of backed out through the middle of the pack, people passing him on both sides.
He lost ground of the last 2 restarts, and that's kind of what hurt him.
Roger chiming in with his stupid wheels and tires. Jones, LaJoy, Truex, and there was more. Roger just can't say one good thing about that car, can you there, Mr. Riggs? Jesus Christ.
Does Roger remember the tire wars in '88 when they had Hoosier tire and Goodyear tire, and every week at least a dozen cars were blowing tires?
I mean, I wasn't alive then, but I've heard all about that, and it was just complete chaos.
Yeah, I watched a lot of videos on it.
Watch the 1988 Coke 600 if you want to. It was only one car started Goodyear's. That was Dave Marcus. Everybody else had Hoosiers, and it was just a fiasco from start to finish. Just tire. And like 2 or 3 drivers went to the hospital that day.
Well, how did Dave wind up doing? Because I'd be curious. He's the only one on Goodyear's. Did he do all right?
No, he actually cut a tire down too at some point, and then you have to watch that crash because it was no, he did not cut a tire down. I apologize. He ran over literally the back of Sterling Marlin, who had cut a tire. So that was a pretty wild wreck. Marcus almost ended up outside of the track in turn 3.
Wow.
Yeah. So, but that. Go ahead.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
No, I just said that is just a race that I think one of those other guys, maybe Slap Shoes, might have did a video on it that talked about, how bad that was and why you don't want more than one tire manufacturer in the sport, just because, they want to build a faster tire so they make it softer, and then it's not as durable, then it, is prone to being punctured or blister, is what was happening in this case.
Right.
What would you
You
think
mentioned
about NASCAR bringing in something like Indian Formula One with different compound tires?
I think it added to the strategy.
Yeah, for sure.
They tried it the one year in the All-Star race, because if you remember, they had the red tires and the green
Yes.
tires.
Yep.
And then Clint Boyer ran one set on one side, one set on the other. They said, you didn't tell us we had to change them all at once.
Right.
So,
while we're talking tires, that reminds me, have you guys heard anything about the Larson test that was done a couple years ago at Martinsville? And remember, they went out there with a water truck and like
the
basically,
rain tire.
yeah, whatever happened with that? Nothing was ever
I'm-
said.
I hadn't
And
heard
then
anything.
you've got Martinsville on the horizon. Let's say there's like a sprinkle mist going on. Well, we don't know anything about that tire. We don't know what happened. So where's the data from that? Nothing was ever said anything.
I hadn't heard anything either. But they did do a rain test at Martinsville in the mid-'90s. I don't know if you heard about that.
No, I didn't.
I think Terry Labonte and a couple other teams were involved in it. But before they went to Japan for those exhibition races at not Fuji, whatever track it was that they went to, the road course. I'm drawing a blank on that right now. Suzuka.
Yeah.
Before they went to Suzuka, they knew that they may have to race in the rain, so they needed an opportunity to test rain tires. And they actually, 2 or 3 teams went with Goodyear and tested rain tires at Martinsville while it was raining. They didn't water the track down. It was a close enough track. They waited for inclement weather, just brought a few haulers up there and did some laps.
Interesting. Now, whatever came of that? I mean, like,
well, it was just used for development for the tire, I believe, for the Suzuka race.
Right. Okay.
But it is featured on a few Max cards, I think, in 95 or 96. You'd have to look for those.
I'll have to look into that. And then one more tire situation. I'm sure Cody Ware knows what it's like to run over one of those tires now.
No, the rim.
Yeah, the rim.
Good
Yeah.
Lord.
Yeah.
Dude, that rim just demolished.
It did.
Did they determine whether the lug came off and that's what caused it, or did that rim just break off the hub?
I haven't heard
know.
anything yet.
I never
I
heard
haven't
anything
heard
else
anything.
either.
Because I know
First
that
thing I've
lug,
seen it,
the lug
I
was
thought-
laying in the track.
first thing I thought of is somebody's getting suspended potentially
Yeah.
for not getting a wheel tight.
But this track too is the flattest, fastest track that they've ran on with this new wheel. So each track so far that we've been to, and it gets no different next week, each track has brought a different set of attributes, different tensions, different braking points, different stress, different G loads, side loads, etc. on these tires. So each race is basically a practice session. They're walking into uncharted waters every time.
And that could be why we saw a couple blowouts this week.
Could be.
A lot of pressure on the
But I did want to touch
sidewall.
I did want to touch on Cody Ware. I was just looking at some stuff last night. And of course, Christopher Bell and Denny Hamlin are having horrible seasons right now. I think they're mired like 27th and 30th in points respectively. But Cody Ware and Christopher Bell right now have the same average finish of 26.5.
Wow. That's a statement for that team, especially going up against Gibbs.
Yeah.
That's
Or
crazy.
it's just showing you how bad of a year Bell is having right now.
Exactly.
Or that 20 car is just cursed and no one could drive it.
Right. That's also true. We got to talk about it. I ain't had to hang my head in shame, and good God knows how long, because he's always finishing his races out. But he had the valve spring issue. I mean,
yeah, it almost sounds like he might have messed up a shift.
Yeah, because he was doing the downshift play as well.
Yeah,
and it is what it is. I mean, he's got the win, so he's automatically in the playoffs. But they were touching bases on that too, saying that at least he does have the win, and it wasn't going to hurt his points. But I mean, it's just racing.
The one thing that I do like about this new car with the engines, with the shifting, with the tires, with everything that's so new, I'm liking the fact that it has attrition, and not everybody, it's not like for the last 15 or 18 years where it's 30 cars on the lead lap and everybody's finishing. I like I'm very old school about NASCAR, and I like the days when people would fall out because of transmissions or suspensions, or, it doesn't have to be a crash. It could just be mechanical or engine, and it's kind of been a breath of fresh air for me seeing that this year, that you actually have attrition. So it does jumble up the points. And now it gives people opportunities that, it used to be a race for 16th, now it's going to be more of a, everybody, it's going to tighten up that race for 16th, I think, as opposed to maybe having one or two guys going for it. Now you're going to have 7 or 8 guys going for that 16th place.
Well, and it also touches back to what we said earlier. You're having people like Kyle Busch, Denny Hamlin, all these, usual good finishers. They've had the struggles already.
Right,
so
right.
It's mixing it up, and you're seeing some of those guys you don't normally see up front, being up front, which is what we all wanted. So
I think in a whole, though, that Gibbs is struggling with the new car right now, because they were having that overheating issue a few weeks ago. And then yesterday, they just were not competitive. I didn't feel like.
No, not at all. Not breaking you guys. It says newer to the channel, love the content. Race dude, appreciate it, man. Thank you for dropping in. I'm always glad to see new people coming in. And then Brian, my good buddy here in my town, says, "Hey guys, I know that the tires on those Gen cars are different on Sunday's race, but anyways, it's a good race." Yeah, appreciate you stopping in, Brian. But yeah, it was overall, I think the best race was obviously going to be the Cup race to me, because seeing Briscoe win, great guy, congrats to him. Never saw it coming. Like I said, Josh, you could have been in Vegas betting big on that race, and you could.
What were the odds on him?
I don't know. I don't know. I never really found that out. I did want
What's
to
crazy? I do NBC and Fox, they do like you get to pick. It's like the stage 2 results on Fox, and then NBC. It's like the play for. It's free to enter. It's the play.
Is it the Win Clint's money thing?
Yeah, and then
Okay.
NBC does one too, where you have to pick the top 3. You have to pick the winners and things like that. And I picked Briscoe on that. I almost friggin' I won $5 on that out of the and it's like tiered. But,
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Hey, $5 you didn't have, go buy a scratch off, as lucky as you are with that pick, and win big. I did want to touch bases on the new Atlanta. I found a little spec sheet. The former track surface, the apron was 2 degrees. It obviously stayed the same. The former transition apron was 4 degrees. Now that's 18, so that's a big change. And then the former banking was 24. Now it's 28. So that 4 degrees is going to change things. Yeah, it went up 4 degrees. And here's what's interesting to me: the track width. You got the front stretch. It was 55 feet all the way around, 55 feet. Now the front stretch is 61 and 6 inches.
So they took some of the apron away.
And then
because
you got the
that transition is gonna be
That's going to be huge.
It's crazy. That's why
it's going to be almost like Dover.
Yeah.
Get this though. They went, like I said, it was 55 all the way around. The back stretch went from 55 to 42 feet.
Oh.
And then the turns went from 55 to 40. So you're talking not much room in all those, the high speeds, man. And that the front stretch is going to see some crazy action, and then you're going to barrel down to 40 feet. Somebody's got to give somewhere, because that's 20 feet. That's crazy. So I think Atlanta's going to be insane.
I think that's going to be a really fun
87
race.
people won the money. Do what, Josh?
I think that's going to be a really fun race Sunday.
Yeah, and like I said,
and all the series, I think, but
yeah,
Sunday especially.
For sure. So that's a big transition. I think the most thing is going to be that from that front stretch being 61 and 6 to the turns at 40. Like, geez, that's literally a 21
About a 20-foot. I think he froze again.
Yeah, frozen.
I don't know.
Uh-oh.
Could
Oh,
be
there
Oh,
you
he's
are.
back.
You're back.
You must not like us talking about the Speedway. It's doing it again. There it goes.
Yeah, Marcus Smith is listening in.
Probably so. Probably so. All right. So now it's time for our picks going into next week. I got to stay with my Ben Rhodes because that's what we all mutually agreed on, whether I like the pick or not. I'll just take Ben Rhodes for the trucks. That's what I said last week. It'd be awesome if he wins. I don't even know why I picked him. I just did. What do you think, Josh?
I
It's
don't
tough.
know.
We don't even know this configuration.
I know. That's why I'm kind of leaning towards Matt Crafton because he's a veteran. He can
Crafton.
probably adapt and conquer a newer track quicker. I feel like.
Yeah, good point there. Octane's thinking hard. He's
Yeah.
thinking.
I'm just running down the Truck Series roster, trying to think of all the names because there's so many names in different places. Chandler Smith's in the 18, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll go with Chandler Smith just because it's a KBM truck at Atlanta, and he's just a younger driver, and they seem to be, a little bit more daring at these unknown
You
venues.
know,
Where,
that would give him back to back, right?
yeah,
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
I mean, he's got nothing to lose. He's won a race, so.
Race dude says John Hunter Nemechek for the Checkers. What else what do you guys think? And it's in the chat. I mean, you don't mind hearing what y'all think. I know Riggs is gonna type something. Riggs is typing.
I was
Zane?
gonna say Zane, but I don't know. Matt Crafton stood out to me.
Outlaw says Atlanta used to be his favorite track until it repaved. Hey,
Well, how do you know? How do you know it's not going to be your favorite track? We haven't seen a race on
exactly
it yet.
what I was about to say.
I mean,
give it
I
one
don't.
race and then judge it.
Right.
So
I think it's going to
anybody
be a good
else?
race. Will I miss old Atlanta? Yes, for sure. But everything needs. It's just like medicine. Everybody
Let's
gets
just say it.
older and needs medicine.
Everything changes whether we like it or not. And I'm spacing this out to you, Roger Riggs, because he is the world's worst. He does not like change. I'm picking on you big time tonight, Mr. Riggs, and I got to hang out with him tomorrow. So I better watch what I say. It was already perfect. That's what Outlaw is saying. We could say that the past car was perfect too, but they changed that on us.
Outlaw, the track was broken though. It was.
It was.
It was old.
Yep, it hadn't even had a repave period since it got there. So, am I right?
Well, that's the original pavement from the reconfiguration of 1997.
Yes.
Right. So that's what I'm saying.
So,
1997. Yeah. Crazy. All right. Xfinity. Anybody want to take their first dibs in? I mean, Jesus Christ, I don't even know what to do.
Xfinity's such a tough one. It's so bad. I'm gonna go with Allgaier.
He popped into my head. Man, thinking. You got Allgaier. Let me write that down.
For me, it was between Allgaier and Barry.
That's what I was thinking. Barry. I'm gonna go with it, Barry.
And put me down for Brandon Jones. I just think he's kind of turning his stuff around right now.
Yeah.
He's probably my least favorite out of all those Gibbs guys, but I think he's gonna bounce back with all this bad luck he's having especially after that huge crash in California.
Yeah, it was the last repave there, Roger, 97. And Outlaw says just kick up some chunks of asphalt and keep going. Wow. Yeah, that'll mess that next gen up instantly. That started happening. Geez. For the Cup Series,
I'm gonna go for it. I'm going for it again. Tyler Reddick.
Oh,
Tyler Reddick. Watch him, guys. If he does this again, I'm going.
he's got inside information.
No, it was going to
I
be
told him. I told
for
him.
me. It was honestly, I was going to pick Chastain or Reddick.
Well,
So it would have been a
morning,
first timer no matter what.
I think I texted him I was like texting Tim. I don't know. It may have been Josh. I was like, "You got the almanac from Back to the Future."
Yep.
It was you. I said it to.
Yep.
He's got that almanac. Biff's running you down to get it back. Did you pick somebody, Octane? I don't know.
No. I'll go with Martin Truex Jr. I think he's had enough bad luck. He seems to always do good at Atlanta. And, what better place to win than the backyard of Bass Pro Shops?
That's true. I don't know why I'm saying this, but I'm going with it. Chase Elliott, finally. He's in Atlanta, too. Hometown crowd, he gets it done. All right, so y'all seen it here first. We got our picks. Let's see how crazy we are this week. We haven't looked stupid really going along through these. This is our third week. We'll be doing
I think this could be our dumbest week.
It's at least the most unpredictable. Well, I think this is going to be just like a speedway race. It's going to be very unpredictable, especially since they're using the same package.
Yeah, they're using the Daytona and Dega stuff. So, basically, all those guys are pretty good. It'd be crazy to see McDowell win another one. If this is supposedly they're running the aero package for Dega and Daytona, he's always been a good plate racer. So maybe, he gets up there and does something. I don't know.
It's going to be interesting if it's going to race like Daytona or Talladega. It's that small. Man, this is just fixing to be a crazy one.
Well, here this just popped in my head, but think how crazy green flag pit stops will be if they're running in packs.
Yeah. How will they bump draft around there? Will they be able to do that on the backstretch much? And I'm just curious how they.
Yeah, are they going to even have enough straightaway to? I have no idea. It's going to be interesting.
I'm curious to see that transition from that 60 to 40.
Do you remember the aero package they ran in the 2001 Daytona 500 with the big wicker bill across the top and the big spoilers and everything?
Orange piece. Yeah,
the big bill across the top. They actually ran a practice test with that in 2000 or 2001 in Atlanta, and Steve Park said the cars were very, very unstable because of it. Because you have a whole different ball game in terms of banking and entry into corners and so forth. So. We don't know what this package is if it's gonna be stable, unstable. It's all a mystery.
What was that? I know we're at 7:59. If we run a minute or two over, that's fine. How did that test run for them? Remember they ran the next gen at Atlanta and it was already repaved. I don't know what package they were using though.
I've seen highlights, but I don't remember what they ran.
I think they were running a completely different package. I don't think they had the big spoiler. I think what they tested was what they weren't going to use.
Probably. I don't remember either, but I did want to, make that out. So we actually done it. We brought us to 8:00. We took care of that. It was just early. For 2 races, I think we done pretty dang good. We touched on some more topics. So man, another hour flew by. It always does when you're having fun. We'll be back though next week with the highlights from Atlanta, and then where are they going after that? Just drew a huge blank.
Texas,
yeah. It's getting closer to Bristol and Martinsville. I'm getting excited each week.
Yeah.
And I can't wait to see Josh down there at Bristol to hang out with him a little bit.
I can't wait to get all my stuff.
Yeah. Piling up over here. I need a storage fee on you guys. But we will be back live here on the channel Wednesday night, either 6:30, 6:45. I'm thinking more so probably the usual 6:30, and then by 6:45 we'll be doing the random, and then we'll go forward, and then we'll be back Saturday with the auction sale. So you guys asked for that. I've put in a lot of hours into getting this ready. So I hope you guys appreciate what's coming Saturday. So should be fun. Another week of this has been awesome. And I do appreciate Josh and Octane for continuing to do this. We're really having a lot of fun here. We may not be professional, but we're having a blast, and we're three loose lug nuts. So stupid and crazy, whatever. But had a good one tonight, and hope to see you guys Wednesday night, and then back here Saturday, and then back the Monday following. So this is Danny and Grays. You guys want to sound your names off or whatever? It's up to you.
Cleveland Card Connections. See y'all later. Peace.
High Octane Cards. We'll see you next week.
All right, guys. We'll see y'all. Take care, guys.